This is Zachary Haskins interviewing Paul Adair on January 24th of 2015 at his home over by Locust Grove in Mays County, Oklahoma. So, first of all, where and when were you born?
Huh?
Where and when were you born?
Born in Pryor, Oklahoma on North Taylor Street, 1925.
Okay. Who were your parents and what were their occupations?
My father was deceased when I was born. He died 4 months. He died in July and I was born in October. And my mother was a widow woman with, at the time, was 2 boys. Then I was born, I made 3 boys. And she was this housewife and did whatever she could to make things meet to help us.
Can you tell me more about your siblings?
Huh?
Can you tell me more about your siblings?
Mine?
Yes.
I got but one.
Do you have any family members that were in the military?
Both my brothers. I had one brother was in the Army. Middle brother was in the Navy and served in the Marine Corps. When the World War II started, he was in a naval hospital as a pharmacist mate at Balboa Naval Hospital. 2 days later, he was on his way to New Zealand. The Marine Corps shipped him out. He served as you call Fleet Marines. And then he was in the help landings and served. And after they left New Zealand, he was in Guadalcanal, Bougainville, Tarawa, Saipan, Tinian, Roy, Dale. Received the Bronze Star for pulling his commanding officer, Matt Hallam Smith, General, out of an ammo dump that was blowing up on Saipan. And that's where he got his. He advanced from a second-class petty officer to a chief. That's what the Matt Hallam Smith made him for pulling him out of that, upped him 3 ranks.
What was the date when you were born again?
October the 22nd.
Okay. What were you doing before you entered the service?
For what now?
Before you enlisted?
Before I enlisted, I was going to school. Adair, Oklahoma, high school.
Can you tell me about when you enlisted?
In 43. I just went through that a while ago with you.
Can you do it again for the camera?
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, I went to register for it, and Mr. Woodward wouldn't let me, so I wound up going to Tulsa and joined the Navy. Then from the Navy we went to Great Lakes, Illinois for boot camp training. That was in March, and we wound up boot camp in ending in the last of May.
Can you tell me what you remember from boot camp?
Oh. It was just one deal right after the other. Marching, getting indoctrinated to the Navy way. Seamanship, gunnery. That's about it.
Which branch did you join?
Huh?
Which branch of the military did you join?
The Navy.
Why did you join the Navy instead of the other branches?
Well, I didn't want the Army, and I didn't have the Air Force then. So I took the Navy. I guess you'd say the easy way.
Did you receive any specialized training at boot camp?
Oh yeah. Gunnery, seamanship. That's about it. Marching.
How was military life different from your life before?
Oh, you got on a routine in the service. You was up at a certain time. You mustered at a certain time. That muster now, calling a roll and all that. And then you went to whatever you had to do that day, and then you'd knock off at a certain time for your dinner. Then you back out again, then going through different routines.
Did you adapt well to that life?
Well, I don't know whether you adapt well to it or not. Some do, some don't. It's a different life altogether.
Where all did you serve?
All over the South Pacific and North Pacific. Like I said a while ago, all the way from Saudi Arabia to Point Barrow, Alaska. Replenished the fleet, black oil, carrier for gasoline, other ship with diesel.
What are some of your memories while serving abroad?
Oh, I don't have too much memories of it. I took it as it came and as it went. The only thing that I can say, I got to see that part of the world out there, what it was like.
Can you tell me what it was like?
Well, a lot of it was the Philippines, especially, had been stripped by the Japanese. All they had was water buffalo to help raise rice, and that's about it. Pretty bad situation out there. Same way in China. China was not like that. All them countries out there at that time was down poor, scraping a barrel. The higher ups were stealing off of them. That's about it. They raise rice, fish heads and rice, all of them.
Did you ever serve on the front lines?
Not on the direct front line. We was with the fleet all the time. We had to be with them to furnish them fuel in case they got low.
Can you take me through like a normal day in the life?
Can
you take me through like a normal day that you would have while you were in the military?
Normal day? Well, you got up, they had reveille around 5:30 in the morning, 5:30. You got up, got your gear on or whatever you had, and then it'd be chow down. You had so long time to get to your chow, get back out on the plank or where you go for muster. Then after the muster was over with, why you did your daily routine. That's keep the ship clean. And if you had to do some painting, well, you painted. Decks, walls, whatever. Each rate, they had rates in the Navy there. Each rate did their own work. The gunners made cleaning the guns over and over and over. You'd think they're going to wear them out.
And did you have any like special duties like the gunners, or were you just cleaning most days?
Only time you had special duties was when they had some come up special. And my duties was mainly when we was in port, was running the boat, keeping it going, cleaned up. There's 4 of us on that. Had the boatswain mate and 2 seamen and a fireman.
What kind of friendships and like relationships did you make with the people you served with?
On board the ship, some good and some wasn't. That's it. You associated with some of them you did. You can just say, well, I just know him, that's it.
What about off the ship?
You had a certain group that you budded with. You didn't go with us off by yourself. You had somebody you went with or didn't.
Did you stay in touch with any of those people after you left the military?
No.
Okay.
I had all of them I wanted.
How did you stay in touch with family and friends back at home?
Huh?
How did you stay in touch with family and friends back at home?
Back at home, you'd have to write letters. During the war there, they had what they call a V6, little deal there. You about like that, you fold it up in 3, and then you write your letter on that, and then fold it up and send it home. Or if you got in port, why, you could telephone home.
What did you do when you weren't doing jobs around the ship? In your free time?
Wasn't much to do.
Okay. Where were you when World War II ended?
When World War II ended. In the Philippines. I think it's between Leyte and Samar. Yeah, it was. That's a long way back.
Do you remember how you felt when you had heard?
Oh, kind of relieved. I thought maybe we'd be going home, but we wouldn't. we had to stay out there.
Did you get to go home at all in between World War II and Korea?
A couple times. I didn't come home until 46. That was for 10 days, and then back to San Diego, and then back overseas.
Do you remember how you felt when you learned that we had entered a war in Korea?
Well, they call that. I kind of wondering what MacArthur had got us into. And we didn't really know what the deal was when that Korean started. All of a sudden, it was in another shooting war. That's about it. You get a surprise every now and then, and that was one right there.
What'd you do in between the two wars?
Huh?
What did you do in between the two wars?
Oh, we had made from island to island out there.
Were you just refilling ships?
Well, during was on a LST there, after the war was over, we was assigned the duty of going back to all them islands and taking the Japs off of them, take them back to Japan, back to Yokosuka. We made trips back to Corregidor, Bougainville, Yap. Took some off of Guam and Tinian. Took them back to Japan. And I don't know what they did with them from there.
Were they prisoners?
They were captured during the war and then camped down there.
Okay. What was the first type of ship that you served on?
The first one,
Yeah.
LST, landing ship tank.
Does that mean that it was for landing troops onto
It
the
was
shore?
landing on the beach. They built personally where they could land troops on the beach, supplies, ammunition, whatever they had to have. The bow doors and run them out. We also had 3 doctors and 28 corpsmen. Had a medical team on there to take the wounded up when we take them off the beach. And them doctors would work on them. And then after we get loaded up, they'd send us over to wherever the USS Hope or one of the other hospitals, big hospital ships were.
What did you mostly carry on the LSD?
Huh?
What did you mostly carry on
What
the
did I
LSD?
mess with?
What'd you carry?
Everything. Everything from toilet paper to tanks, big trucks, all kinds of supplies.
Did you land with those with that ship at any major battle?
Huh?
Did you land any troops or tanks or anything at major battles?
They wouldn't let the LSTs during World War II get too far mixed up with this destroyer and all them other shooting ones. They kept us all in a group.
How big was the LST?
About 3.5, 4 length of football field.
What was the second type of ship that you served on?
Seagoing tanker.
What type of fuel did it carry?
We carried black oil, diesel, and aviation gasoline on it. It was about 3 times as long in length as that LST. It had 4, 5, 6. It had 6 10-ton booms on, or you'd swing them booms out, and where you swing them booms out, there'd be a black oil hose or gasoline hose tied onto a tank, and they go up that boom, and then you'd use a shotgun and shoot that line over them. They'd pull it over and then you'd replenish.
Which ship did you like serving on better?
Huh?
Which ship did you like serving on better?
Neither one. I was just there. Had to work. You could sit on the side of that seagoing tanker just like this when we was loaded, and your feet would be in the water up to here. That's how. And then after you started to replenish ship, or you come up like this.
I bet that made going through storms pretty terrible.
Huh?
I bet going through storms was pretty terrible on that ship. After you went home, how did you readjust to civilian life?
Huh?
When you went home, what was it like readjusting to civilian life?
Oh, you had to get out on your own. Find something to do. That's a readjustment there, getting a job. You gotta live, so you have to get out and scrounge and hunt for a job.
What did you first do?
Aircraft work.
Do you think working on the ship helped prepare you for being like an aircraft technician?
No. Had to learn all over. One trade to the other. That's like it was with me. I came home, went to work for Douglas, building ships, building parts. Then later on, down the road, I went to work for American Airlines.
How do you think serving in the war has affected your life?
Oh, I don't know. Made me think what a good country we got. But as far as affecting my life, you can't hardly say that. You got to go right on down the road. Take what life gives you. Actually, you make your life. It's not handed to you. You get out and make it. I think. Now, that's my opinion.
You said that serving made you love your country more. Why was it that you first joined the military?
It's just what you got through saying. Free country. And what I saw is the best in the country, in the world. Handle it with care. For it gives back in return.
How did serving in the military increase your patriotism?
Oh, I don't know how you'd say that. Patriotism is taught, at least it was when you first start school. Kindergarten, first grade, that's when patriotism starts. Then all this other stuff that's happening is built in. And that's where your patriotism comes from. Some does and some don't take a hold of it.
What are some of the life lessons that you learned from serving in the military? What are some of the lessons that you learned from serving in the military?
Oh, a lot of it, you can't go out on your own on it. You've got to take orders and try to correct them as you go. Other groups. It's hard to say. A lot of them could spiel out a bunch of crap and they don't even live up to it. You're taught when you're little, and it's supposed to stay with you, I think. In your older age, growing up.
How has serving in the military affected your, view on war and the military in general?
You asked that a while ago.
I asked kind of about, patriotism, but what about, war overall?
Actually, we're not being what you call on the actual front line. I can't answer that. Now, like I was on the Navy, we was at sea. We never was on the front line. We was as a group.
How do you think, did you hear any war stories from the front lines? Did you hear of any of the horrors, especially when transporting troops back?
I don't know what you're talking about there.
Okay.
You repeat that, I'll try to see what I can come up with.
Or it's, on the first ship that you served on, the LST, did you, transport any, wounded soldiers back from the front lines?
LST at flank speed was only 11 knots. You didn't move very fast.
Oh.
We went through the Panama Canal on that. It took a full day. And then from Balboa on the Pacific side of the ocean to Espiritu Santos. That's an island down close to Australia and New Zealand. It took us 31 days.
While you were out in the Pacific and like the Southern Pacific, the Northern Pacific, where was your favorite place that you ever visited?
None. No favorite place. Get there and get out.
Where was the place that you wanted to get out of the most?
Huh?
Where was your least favorite place?
Where I was released from the Navy,
Oh.
I was discharged in San Francisco, Treasure Island. But I was flown back from Japan to San Francisco and then over to Devil's Island. Over to Treasure Island.
Is there any message that you would like to leave for like further generations who would like see this video that you would like to let them know?
No, I don't have a message. For every person has their own way of life and set. So I don't have a message for you do it as you was raised and the training that you had, and you try to live to that.
Is there anything that we haven't, why did you go to Tulsa to enlist instead of joining in prior?
Huh?
Why did you head to Tulsa to enlist to join the Navy instead of joining in prior?
There wasn't no place to go.
Oh, was there not?
You had to set up over Tulsa.
Okay. Was there not an enlisting station in prior?
And, huh?
Was there not like an enlisting station in prior?
No, there wasn't nothing that they had prior then. They only had a draft board. Draft board was taking most all of everything to the Army. No, Tulsa and Oklahoma City was only two places that the government set up to take volunteers and also for draft.
Did you join up with any of your friends?
Huh?
Did any of your friends join the Navy with you?
No. Although there's some showed up that I knew, but they wasn't what you call it actual friends. Or buddy you call it. You're mostly on your own until Uncle Sam got you. Like they got us there in Tulsa at the old post office building up there on the second floor. That's when you got into a group. But you was on your own.
And you joined when you were 17, right?
Huh?
Did you join when you were 17 or 18?
18. Going on 18.
Is there anything that you'd like to talk about? Any experience, any feeling before the interview ends?
No.
No.
That's in the past.
Okay.
I don't live in the past, I live in the future.
Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and end the video.